Well, now, this is the video that we tell each other the truth. No matter what, we have to say the truth, all right? So, guess what? On this video, I'm going to share with you 3 useless things that most of the Kenyans love that keeps them poor. And by the way, this is not only a reflection of Kenya, it's also very clearly in Africa, all right? So let's get into the business. But don't forget this, I'm actually sharing this information with you for free. I'm not going to charge you anything. And by the way, the only thing that I want from you in favor as a return is to like this video. It doesn't cost you anything, and also to subscribe. Down below there is a small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button and let's get into the business. Right now, you see, there's some of the things that actually puts Kenya, or actually, sort of pushes a lot of Kenyans into the poverty, and they do not realize. And today, I'm going to share with you the first one, and I know you've guessed it right. Number one is politics. If you want to go to a country where whenever it becomes a politicking sort of a season, it is Kenya. Kenya, they are always politically charged. Go to Jivanji Garden, go to Jacaranda Gardens, go to Uhuru Gardens, go to those places, you find those guys actually congregating, talking about politics. They are so bitter. And well, their points are quite understandable. Go to our mainstream media. Every time politics has to crop out. This done war, the state of the nation, every time. Sometimes we even feel bad and all those kind of things. And the problem that with this, by the way, politics have been there for years and years. And I'm not gonna say that it's gonna end. No, it's gonna be with us throughout the time. But how does this make you poor? This makes you poor in the sense that, hey, guess what? Most of the people usually cling or usually believe or hook their hope and success and being so successful in life on the politics. They say, well, it not for the politics, I would be there. Well, it not for the politics, I will be there, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing this, all those kind of things. I understand there's some aspect of it that actually affects your life directly. But the fact remains this politics has never, there is nowhere in a track record that has ever solved people's problems. But we find in Kenya, people usually believe like, hey, well, it's not for this. If maybe we had the other leader, if maybe we had the other one, if this one, this. So that people tend to, guess what? They justify their situation. They justify the condition that they're living in with the politics. They say, hey, if so-and-so was to be somewhere, then it means me, where I am, I could be better. Sometimes that can be true and totally cannot be true, because, you see, this developed nation has actually showed us that it is not really about the leadership that makes people to be rich or wealthy or achieve what you call the financial freedom. It's about the mentality. If we go to London, if you go to UK, you go to US, they still complain up to date. By the way, there was a time like UK exchanged their prime ministers within a short period of time. They had several of them. So what does it mean? It means that politics has never solved any people's problems. I know you may argue from the point of, but you see, they're in a better position that we are. It is true, they're in a better position than we are, but the fact remains, don't we have wealthy people in Kenya? The same case, people who are off the grid, people who are just by themselves, they are doing great in this great nation. So the fact remains, politics it's sort of a part of our life. But the point is this: it's good to differentiate between to what extent can politics affect your life, and to what extent are you supposed to imply or apply in your life for you to be able to progress. And guess what? This is a weakness that most of the politicians have actually realized with the people, and therefore they are riding on that, and that's why they're actually placing themselves in top of the ladder in terms of the development, in terms of them acquiring the biggest seats in our country. And the same case applies to some of the guys who are manipulating some of the people in the churches to a point whereby they enrich themselves and other guys are actually languishing in poverty. So the thing is this: when it comes to your personal development, when it comes to you achieving the financial goal, the ultimate thing that you ought to have is the mentality. If you have yourself the right mentality, if you apply all the necessary things that are required out there, you can actually achieve this. And I know by saying that, I know I've lost some of you and you're saying, what is this guy saying? Are you even making any sense? I'm really trying to do this, but it's not even working. I understand it is tough. So does it mean we should quit? Does it mean we should give up? No, it doesn't mean so. It means that, hey, control the controllables, do that what you're best at, and continue doing exactly that. That's how you make yourself, stand out in this society that you live in. By the way, if you do not know, in this country of ours, Kenya, there are some people who have actually been, wealthy, they have made money, and they have not traveled even outside of this country. So what does it tell you? It tells you, yes, you may need luck to do exactly that. Number two, don't ever think and all the time think it's all about connection. It's not about connection. What happens is that you can be lucky. There's some people whom I know I can identify. Why? They have not, been in connection with the government and they are actually ultra wealthy in this country. So the point is this: it's always good to make sure that you separate your life with the politics, and that way you can be able to do good in your life. By the way, as we speak, I ceased watching politics. I ceased watching, not really politics, I ceased watching news because they feed you with negative energy. By the way, I want to give you a challenge. Today at night, go watch your TV and listen to those news. You realize over 70% or close to 70% of the news that's gonna be shared there, it's actually about negative news. Somebody said, somebody did, somebody died, all those kind of things. Hardly will you hear, hey, something like, hey, there's something that happened in Kenya, investors came in, and you never heard of those kind of things. It's all about negative news. So if you keep on feeding yourself the negative news, and I understand the social medias or the media, it's actually there to sell this narrative, and that's how they make money. I understand that, and with all the due respect, I respect them. But now the point is this: if you feed yourself the negative mentality, you keep on selling the idea of how bad we are in the terms of the country, we are the corner, we are going down, we are what, we are what, we are what. So to a point where you feel like, okay, fine, I justify then my situation. You're not supposed to do that. Anyway, but you can contest on the comment section, tell me what you think. Now, the next thing that you find most of the people cling on that is not really good and healthy when it comes to you developing, it's actually blame of the place of origin, blame of their origin. So what does this mean? You find most of the people are, and by the way, personally, I will admit I had this problem back then after actually I cleared my university education. I used to ask myself, fine. So by the way, back when I was in campus, I used to see some guys flocking and flossing with big cars, and I could hear people saying, hey, that is their car, he got that car from home, the guy drives, he comes from a better family and all those kind of things. And I used to feel challenged. And I was like, oh my goodness, why did I even come from that family? Because even right now where I am, I'm not really having the life that I would love to have, but these guys are just flossing with big cars and these big machines and what have you. So I used to kind of blame where I was born from, and I could justify my situation and say, hey, if I was born from these guys, sort of an environment, I'll be doing this and not the other. But that's not the reality. The reality is, well, you may not choose where to be born from, that's for a fact, but you can decide where to actually to retire to. That's for reality. And that's why I said, if you can have the ability to differentiate the things that you can control as the one that you cannot be able to control, that will be the most important thing when it comes to development. So the point is this: if you understand that where you come from, it's a bit disadvantaged in terms of the development, then focus on the things that you can be able to do. And I always tell people, the very genesis thing to actually bring a difference in your life is to look how your family is and what exactly have they been doing like throughout their life. And then if you realize this is what exactly they have been doing, then just do it opposite. All right, because if you do exactly as they were doing, then you're expecting a different result, I would say you're being ignorant. Okay, so the point is, it's always good to make sure that, hey, understand where you come from. If you understand where you come from, then it can be a bit clear or where you are actually heading to. But if you keep on blaming on where you come from, hey, it's because of my family, my family is not doing good. If they did this, I could be somewhere, I could be doing this and all those kind of things. By the way, I had a friend of mine who I told him, hey, guess what? I told the guy, I bought a certain thing here, and the guy told me, I see you can't be, you bought that thing because you don't have much responsibility, you don't have kids. And then I told the guy, come on, are you saying now by virtue of you having a kid, so you cannot be able to buy some things? You see, have you ever not seen somebody who has 4 kids more than you, then they have more than you? So you have this mentality of, hey, see why I'm not be able to buy this because I have kids. I'm not. See, if you keep on clinging to everything, you just find anything and everything on the ground to justify your means or the situation, that will actually deter you from achieving the full potential of your life. So I'm not saying you appreciate where you come from, but anyway, understand where you come from and really don't like where you come from, then work on where you want to retire to. That has never changed. That is a procedure, and that is exactly what you're supposed to do when it comes to development. Let me go to the next one. Okay, the next one or the third one is that wrong mentality. I know I've touched this one along the way from the point form, is actually having what we call wrong mentality. And by the way, let me admit this. Back then, when I used to go to the YouTube and search, hey, how to make money, how to be wealthy, how to be rich if you come from a poor background, they keep on talking. They talked about mentality. Change your mentality, change your mentality. And I was like, this is not what I was looking for. I want something that is substantive. I want something that is mechanical, that will actually solve my actual problems. No, tell me, go do this. Tell me, do this, you'll get money. But if you're telling me about mentality, change your mentality, how does that have to do with me getting money and becoming rich? I used used to have a very hard time, and I used to feel like that sounds more of a motivational than a real thing, until I came to realize it is very true. What you conceive between your ears happens or brings forth into your pocket. Do you know what they say? They say that poverty starts in your head before it goes into your pockets. So if you get your mentality in order, whenever people are saying, hey, taxes are high, life is very tough, you know, right now is the hardest time to start a business, I wouldn't advise you to start a business, don't invest, don't do this, we cannot be able to save anything. So if you buy that narrative, if you incorporate that narrative, because there are people who are very good at that, you see, those are the information that I never love to hear them actually crossing my ears. I always say it is good, all is well. It's the best time to invest. It's the best time to start a business. It's the best time to do this. That's how I feed myself. And let me tell you one secret. This one may not bring money into your pocket like directly, because I know maybe that's what you're looking for. But the fact remains, once you keep on changing your mentality, you can be able to do the thing. And by the way, if you just allow me to quote something from the Bible, it says, hey, the power of the tongue is way strong. So be careful on what you utter, because they say what you confess is what you possess. So don't attract the negative energy, because that is exactly what you vibrate and attract and be able to get at the end of the day. So the point is this: make sure as much as you can transform how you think, transform how you perceive the things, and that is exactly how you can be able to change your life and progress to the next level. So guys, especially in Africa, change your mentality, change how you perceive and view things. If when you do exactly that, that can actually see. There is this thing called inferiority complex, sort of a something. See, Africans tend to think like, hey, we are inferior if you were to compare ourselves with the rest of the races in this world. Hey, I think in Kiswahili tunasema tunaonewa, meaning like these guys actually, sort of, they hate us, we feel disadvantaged, secluded, or something of sort. No, if you incorporate that kind of a mentality, you don't grow with this zeal of like, hey, I can be anybody, I can do it, I have to do this, I can. You see, at that time you'll be able to actually incorporate that positive mentality, and you can be able to achieve more things that you actually thought. The last one as a what? The last one, just as a bonus or a discount, is about the sherehe thing, nightlife, Yolo, and all those kind of things. Okay, I'm not saying that people should not enjoy themselves, but of enjoying yourselves without having any plan, it's actually delving, or people are actually delving themselves into poverty in this great nation of ours. You know what they say? There are some sort of a memes that goes around and says, hey, if that money can't buy you a piece of land, then eat it. It's not really a good advice that I would give you, because you see, eating is a sustainability, it's not really a developmental. And once you do that, and by the way, I know if you're young right now watching me, you feel like, okay, fine, Joseph, you have not answered the question that I was looking for. But the point is this: you see, as you grow old, you tend to realize the perception about life changes. It's not what you think. You used to think like life is short, you realize like, hey, it's very long, especially if you are struggling. You see, let me tell you one secret. You see, if you have money and you're living a quite of a good, comfortable life, 1 year is never a thing. But if you're struggling, I can tell you, it's like sleeping somewhere outside where you're being, under the cold. Just 12 hours can actually seem to be like a whole entire month. But if you're just sleeping in a very comfortable place, even if you can sleep for 2 days, you feel nothing. Right? So the point is this: it's always good to get yourself a proportion in terms of the way you think about your life. Guess what, guys? You can always pick my number from the description of this specific video. Shoot me a call. Let's talk businesses. I do have booklets about investments, and a copy goes for only $280. Get number from the description, and don't forget to like this video and comment down below. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.